Welcome into the Coach Rush Probe Show here on 94.1 FM The River and the River Sports Network as we broadcast live from City Market Grill and Buffet. Adam Stocks along with Lance Bowman and, of course, Coach Rush Probst joining us here as we do every Tuesday. And, Coach, this is the first time that we've been able to meet and to gather and to break bread and talk about the victory that we had the week prior. Of course, we had a bye week last week, but in a nutshell, just kind of, if you will, give us a synopsis of that 24-16 win against last week or 2 weeks ago that we had.
Well, I thought our players fought. We haven't been able to finish games very well, and when things go bad, like they have in game one and game two, we've not been able to overcome it. This time we did. We had another catastrophic snap over the dang quarterback's head and into the end zone, and we don't get on it and give up the touchdown. And traditionally, or not traditionally, but the word I'm looking for is what we have done is we've folded our tents a little bit, and we didn't fold our tents this time. I thought our defense rallied, and offensively we went back out that next series and didn't do anything, but then all of a sudden our defense gets back on the field and they get a big-time stop. I think they drove down there and we held them. Then we get the ball back, and then we go down and score to put it back to an 8-point lead instead of a 1-point lead. And so to me, and then our defense held on. They hung in there, and they just – they showed some resiliency that we talk about and some resolve, to be honest with you. I mean, it's held our composure. And look, we did it with, at one time on the field, I don't know if y'all counted this, but we had 5 or 6 sophomores playing with a freshman. I think it was 5 sophomores, a freshman is 6, a senior 7, and 4 juniors. Now, we were rotating Jacob Tucker in. It would sometimes would give us 2, but Otwell was out. So we lost him, early and to an elbow injury. So really it was L.J. Berry, and then with Jacob Tucker, and then we rotate Caden Joyner in some as a senior. But there's a lot of times out there I look out on the field, I'm going sophomore, freshman, junior. And so that bodes well for the future. It does.
Coach, when you see a team, you've talked so much about buy-in with your team, and then you see them come out and have the effort that they had against Center Point. And obviously, it was a big win for a couple of reasons. That was an undefeated football team, 3-0, and it was a region win, something we haven't had in a few seasons at Pell City. Do you feel like that obviously will promote part of that buy-in? How much can you make? How much buy-in can come from a first win like that, and how do you continue to pull for that from the guys?
Well, you have a choice as a football player. You have a choice to continue to improve as a player, or you think that you've climbed the mountain with one win. I mean, you're only taking one step of a big mountain you're trying to climb. So there's times our team fight. They fight trying to get better. They want to be complacent. They want to just get through it. That's why I like our 9th grade and our 10th graders. We don't have a lot of 10th graders, a lot of sophomores, but what we got in that 10th grade class gives us a lot. Your seniors and your juniors have been sort of in that muck. I call it muck. I call it a lot of other stuff, but I won't say on there. But they've been stuck in that blank for a long time. And so they just don't understand. Yesterday was not a real good practice. I thought we went back and had a good practice today. I thought Sunday's practice was pretty good. I thought Monday morning was not very good, and I thought this afternoon was pretty good. So they've just never had that work ethic instilled in them of what it takes to prepare. I think Coach Bryant said this a long time ago that preparation is the key to winning, the key to victory, and it's the will to prepare. It's not the preparation, it's the will to prepare to win. Coach Saban calls it creating habits, good habits. And that's what we're trying to do is create good habits. We're trying to break a bunch of bad habits. It's lifting weights during the season and having a tough Monday practice and being back up there this morning and being in the weight room and getting after it in the weight room. Our Sunday lift, our Tuesday lift. So there's a lot to it, to being prepared to win. And I think that we battle that every day, and we battle it just about every 10 to 15 minutes in practice. I mean, each part, I was going to bring my practice script with me today, but, I take a little piece of paper, our practice script, and I take a pen out to practice, and I'll just jot down something on the practice schedule, and it'll say good, average, below average, poor, or excellent. And so I put that, and I'll file it away. And at the end of the week, you go back and you go, okay, we were really good or average in this right here. We were poor in this. And that's sort of that last-minute game plan that you put together on Thursday before Thursday's practice. That determines a lot of what you're going to call on Friday night offensively. I think what Nick calls on defense on Friday night, it's a lot of that is still to be determined as the week goes on and how important practice is. And I'll say this, these players don't understand. They're starting to a little bit. They don't understand how important practice is. Chris Hatcher at Sanford, they lost their third straight game of the day. He made a statement on TV that I caught, and I thought was a great quote, is you're going to play like you practice. And that is so true. If you're going to play like you practice, and if you don't practice good, you're not going to play well. And so that's the part we keep pushing every day is that. But I think winning helps with that, or it can help with that. So, we're still in that process of trying to, now that we've won, now we got to work harder. We got to work more. We got to continue to push, and understand that you improve that 3 to 5% each week. You think about it, from game 1 to game 2 is usually a big improvement. Then it starts to come in small increments, and you can't stay status quo. Nobody stays status quo. You're getting weaker in the weight room, you're getting worse as a football team, or you're getting better as a football team. You don't stay the same ever.
When you guys went back to the locker room, all the handshakes, we're going to look at some clips here in just a couple of minutes, some of the scoring plays and some other things from that win against Center Point a couple of weeks ago. But when you go back into the locker room, what'd you tell the kids with first W and you gathered them together? What was your message to them?
Just that your hard work has finally paid off. Fruits of your labor is so true in this game, probably more so in the game of football than any other, because you put so much into, baseball you don't. I mean, you play a day, then you may play back-to-back days. You may play 3 days in a row. You may go to practice to hone your skills, but you play a lot of games. Basketball the same way. You're playing a lot of games, In football, it's 1 game per week, and it starts – for us as a staff on Saturday morning. Friday night then turns into Saturday morning for the staff. And when we get our rehab stuff fixed, which we haven't got done yet, because we changed rehab companies, when they build up a rehab center here and we get that taken care of, then really the process to win the following Friday night starts on that Saturday morning with rehab. Film watching on your own. Then Sunday. Then Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday, and then your Friday, the preparation Friday. So it's a lot you put into to play the game of football on Friday, and it's so important. I was talking to Coach Freeze today because we're going to go down to Auburn on Thursday and stay and work out at their facility prior to us departing to go to Eufaula on Friday. He's talking the same language. Actually, we're going to talk again tonight at 9:30 on his way home. And I think it's the same language. It's no different being at Auburn, starting a program. You're playing the number 1 team in the country. You struggled last week big time at A&M. he's trying to find that happy medium too of, what does it take to get to a level to be competitive. And I think same things he's talking about, the same things I'm talking about. It goes hand in hand when you start a program.
Coach, you congratulated your team. Obviously, we had some highlights that we're going to talk about and look at in just a minute. Obviously, you got some big plays from your senior playmakers on offense. You've talked about the 5-6 guys that are young on defense. Some of those guys making big plays for you. What were some things that stood out for you, for your team in the win? What's something that they did really well?
Well, man, I thought Caleb showed why he's a really good athlete, and I thought Marquise Bedford showed why he's an explosive player on that run. I think it was 35 or 36-yard run, if I remember right. Those two kids offensively are our playmakers. And once our offensive line can sustain blocks and get continue to get themselves in shape and keep improving as an offensive lineman, our role players are Ethan Everett, Zach Duncan, John David, Dalton Fink, which we've now moved to the defensive side of the ball to give us some depth. He still will play a little bit of tight end and heavy package, but he's going to hopefully can work out and help us on defense. But, so we've got a bunch of role players. And don't get me wrong, Nikita's a role player. Although he's our part-time quarterback, he's a role player. So you've got to get – on offense, you've got to get things out of your role players. You do. But your good players that are like Bedford and Caleb Gross, they've got to really step their game up to give us a chance to be explosive offensively. But the key to us offensively is our offensive line. That part has to improve and continue to improve. And the other night, I was proud of them at times. I was disappointed in them other times. They're just inconsistent with their play, and it really, and I'm hard on them. We all are. Coach Bennett, Coach Hufford, Coach Jones, Will Reichert, who played for me at Colquitt County, was a 3-year starter, a 2-year starter at UAB, played last year. Helps us out. So there's a lot of eyes on them O-line. So that's got to be on defense. I was just proud of the way we flew around to the ball. I mean, my gosh, Blake Ezel. I mean, have you ever seen a player of this 120-something pounds have more impact on a ball game? I don't know if I've ever seen a kid have more impact on one ball game than that kid had. He don't mind hitting you. He don't reach and grab. He will put his face and his shoulder pad into somebody. He did it at practice today. I mean, that boy right there has been really good for us, and you can't get him off the field. I don't know who would replace him because he's that good. I mean, he's making that. He was on 11 solo tackles, 5 assists, is 16. He had a pass breakup. He had, the stat sheet was off the roof. And I thought Ethan Isbell got better from the week before. I thought both corners played really well, and JJ and DJ, or LJ, excuse me. So there's things there. Oh, I tell you, the Coos twins, let me tell you something. The one that's the defensive player,
Trey. That's Trey.
Lord, I call him Coos D and Coos offense. But let me tell you, Trey, man, he stepped in and showed us why he's got the character he has. Because here's a kid ain't never played there, and Bulls, he took Bulls' place, Sean, and I think it boils down to that he can run on the perimeter and get us lined up. And we've moved Sean Bulls to offense. That was a swap, Bulls for Fink. And so I think that's going to help us down the road. But I was proud of a lot of our players. I mean, I really was. And then Jordan Peary, Woods, 15 and 17 was all over the field. Mm-hmm. Both of them are sophomores. They've got athletic. They're athletic. I think both of them can play on the next level with more development. So very very pleased with them a lot. I mean, you think about it. We had Christian, safety, Blake, at the nickel, Ethan Isbell at the other station, sophomore, 2 sophomore outside backers. That's 5. You're rolling with those guys. That's the core of your defense. And then you're playing you're playing Coos at linebacker that's never played there, and then you're playing a freshman. So you're really happy with those kids. And so, we get the McCombs kid back hopefully this week in an abbreviated role probably, and then the following next week he could, he finds his way back onto the field as a starter. Gives us a lot more options on this defensive football team. And he's a sophomore, so so we're excited to get him back too. I can just tell you that's going to be big for our defense too. So we're heading in the right direction.
All right, we're going to take a timeout here. When we come back, we'll take a look at quite a few plays from that big win against Center Point. Coach is trying to wrestle 220 this year, so he's got onion rings drenched in ranch here. See if he can get on Coach Hufford's 220 heavyweight.
I'm waiting him on the break, too.
We're going to let him eat a little bit on this break, too. Stick around. We'll be right back. Again, we got a lot of plays to look at, a lot of replays that we're going to check out from last week's win, 2 weeks ago's win against Center Point. And, of course, we'll talk about the game and the road trip to Eufaula. Stick around as the Rush Probe Show continues here on the River Sports Network.
When you're a Win South customer, we're with you all the time. Through the workday, into game day, dinner time, all the time. So now is the time to choose Win South. We're with you. Convenience, security, service. It's what we do. Win South. We own it.
Good call or bad call, officials always have the final say in sports. And at Alpha Insurance, we know it's important for you to have the final say on your insurance plan. You can trust us to protect what's most important to you. Alpha Insurance, always a good call. In Pell City, call me, Jim Wilson, at 205-884-3470. Or stop by our office at Martin Street South next to Dairy Queen.
When North meets the South, deliciousness happens. At Herb's Barbecue and Pizza Pub in Riverside, we offer a wonderful dining experience with delicious food, affordable pricing, and a family-oriented atmosphere. Come taste for yourself Herb's slow-cooked barbecue. Try the pizza, the wings, and especially Zena's signature sides. Herb's Barbecue and Pizza Pub for dine-in or takeout. Like us on Facebook for hours, menu, and more. Herb's Barbecue and Pizza Pub, the man, the meat, the legend.
Are you tired of waiting days or even weeks to see your doctor? Introducing Elixir Health, where quality healthcare meets convenience. We believe everyone deserves personalized attention and timely medical care. From preventative care to chronic disease management, we offer a wide range of services including hormone replacement therapy, IV infusions, weight loss, and DOT physicals. Join the growing number of satisfied patients who have chosen Elixir Health. Your healthier future starts here.
Fields Gossett Realty is your local full-service real estate agency and has been a proud sponsor of Panther Athletics for over 40 years. And at Fields Gossett, helping you with all your property needs and giving back to the community is our winning combination. For more info, visit fieldsgossett.com for listings, agents, and tips for buying and selling. Fields Gossett, your community partner in the real estate business.
On the edge of town, there stands an old factory. The townspeople don't speak of what went on there, but everyone knows. To get out alive, you don't have to run fast, just faster than your brains.
The Food Barn in Raglan offers the best in good old-fashioned hometown service when you're shopping for groceries, plus the latest ways to get great food specials your way. Click on RaglanFoodBarn.com. Follow the Food Barn on Facebook and listen to The River for weekly specials.
Where you can get everything you need from down on the farm and it won't cost you a leg or an arm.
And they're open 7 days a week. For the best cuts on quality meats, great service, and great prices, it's the Food Barn in Raglan.
Hello everyone, this is Brent Bunton from Holly Automotive in Pell City, Alabama. We are a family-owned and operated local independent dealership. We have local credit union financing available, and we also offer extended warranties. And we also have Carfax report on every vehicle. If you're in the market to buy, sell, or trade, please come see me, Brent Bunton, at Holly Automotive on the corner of Florida Road and Old Coast City Road. Be sure to like and follow our Holly Automotive page on Facebook.
Welcome back to the Rush Probe Show here on 94.1 FM The River and the River Sports Network, as we do it live every Tuesday. We go live about 7 o'clock or so, Facebook Live, and all kinds of good stuff to talk about this week, obviously, with Pell City's big win against Centerpoint, 24-16. First win for Coach Rush Probst at Pell City High School. And we got a bunch of clips we want to look at from that game specifically. Coach, you done eating those onion rings? I want to make sure.
I'm going to get Jill to go get me some more.
We get Miss McCombs to get some more onion. He needs some more ranch, too, if you're going up there. All right, so the first one we're going to look at is Caleb Gross's 25-yard touchdown run. We're going to look at the wide shot and then also the tighter shot as well. If you'll break this down for us here, just a great play by number 4.
Ran counter option to the field. He reverses his field, comes back across the grain, and he's an athlete being an athlete. I mean, there's no design to that. I mean, they had to play stop. Well, it wasn't a counter option. It was straight option, what we call Oakland. And he just, they don't pursue the backside. They're overplaying it, and they hit him in the backfield. He spins out of it and then reverses the field. Let me tell you something. Caleb Gross, to me, and I'm going to tell Coach Freeze this tonight, and I'm going to tell Napier at Florida, and I'll tell them all. He is the best kept secret maybe in this state. That kid not being developed in the last 3 years, I mean, had no development, zero development in the weight room, no speed enhancement, no flexibility training, nothing like that. And in practice, the way they practiced, it wasn't advantage for him either. So I think the kid has a legitimate shot to play big-time D1 football. He's faster than you think he is. He's strong as an ox. He has explosiveness because he can jump, high jump, 6'6". If they can finish second in the state. So I think the kid can play big-time football, and I'm not sure where yet. I don't think he'll clock a real fast 40, but I think his 40 will improve. I think he'll be a legit high 4.5s eventually. I think he's probably in the high 4.6s right now. He's fast enough, though, and he's explosive, as you can see, because he can run through you, around you, run away from you, so there's not a lot he can't do. I think he's a big-time player.
Oh, we're not done watching clips of number 4 from that Friday night either. All right, the next one is the 26-yard field goal by Jake Blackstone as the time was expiring, and I thought the discipline of the offense getting off the field, special teams getting on, and matter of fact, if you'll roll it, watch number 4. Caleb Gross, see him right in the middle. He's directing his offense. Get off. Here comes special teams. Yep. Break that down as time literally was expiring, hitting that field goal.
What we call red field goal. Red field goal. And they know we worked this in practice several times in fall camp. And we can do it in about 12 seconds. So I think when the play was being run, there were 21 seconds. I don't remember what the time was when he got tackled, but I think it's right around the 15-second mark, maybe y'all know. But Jake getting out there, and Ethan and the snapper, and getting all your people transitioned off and getting it set and getting it snapped, putting it down and kicking it. We work it all the time. And like I said, you see Caleb right there. Come on, get off the field. And we had one, there he comes, at the very end, getting off as fast as he can, and we get lined up. And I think they snap it at 3 or 2.5 and kick it, and it gets through there.
And Blackstone, man, the kid's been automatic literally all year long so far.
He's been really good. He's another one I think has a shot to play at some level. I know he may not have an SEC leg, but he's got a leg to play somewhere. I mean, it's just a matter of him getting the opportunity to go play, and I think that he can.
All right, let's look at the next one. Gitman shook a 56-yard touchdown pass to Caleb Gross. We'll go wide shot first on this one here. What's his play?
Yeah, it's just we ran 94th YSL, and we tagged it. I called it, and we tagged it, and I said, don't look nowhere else. You're going to go to him regardless. And we did, and it worked out for us. But he looked the safety off a little bit. And Nikita threw a perfect ball. He can throw a downfield ball now. And Caleb can definitely beat you. So, we probably don't do that enough. We got a plan going forward, I think, to help us with all that. So, going to have to take some more shots from downfield as the year goes on.
All right, the next one, Jordan Perry. We were talking about him earlier, and this is a dream come true. See him at the bottom of the screen here. What's his call?
Yeah, it's a boundary blitz. He avoids the guy cutting him and sacks the quarterback. Just a great job out of an athlete that really not experienced in playing football. I mean, he's played other sports, but this is his sport now. He's really, really going to be a good football player. I think another Division I player that can play on the next level at a high level. Because that kid right there, he don't know a lot of football. So as he gets better at being a football player and spending a good off season, and look, I want him to play other sports. I do, but he's gonna make his money. In football. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, he's a kid that. He can help us win in other sports. There's no doubt. Mm-hmm. But that kid right there can play the game of football. He's going to be really good down the road.
And just a play or two after that, Jaden Elston. We were just talking about Jaden during the break. Big Jaden, big number 90, coming in and making a tackle here.
Yeah, they go bullet motion and run a little quarterback draw. He gets off the block and body slams it over in the turf. And, Jaden just got to get in shape. He had that knee surgery in the last week of July, and it's taking him. He missed a lot of fall camp, and when he did, he just lose that fall camp. I mean, that's tough. So it's just taking him this long to get there. But he's another one who's going to be a really good football player. He's got his, he's a junior. He's got to continue to improve his, his conditioning, and he will. And once he loses probably 30, 35 pounds in the offseason, get around that 300 mark, maybe the 290 mark, he'll feel better, number one. But I tell people all the time, not only are you going to feel better and be a better football player, it's also better for your life long term to be sub 300 than it is over 300. So I tell people that all the time. This is sort of morbid, but I'll say it anyway. But you see a lot of old people, and you see a lot of big people, but you don't see a lot of old big people. So I tell people all the time, when you're sitting there at that 340, 350 range, I mean, you got to get south of that and be in better condition. And we'll spend a lot of time on that in off season. There's no doubt. I mean, we'll have a nutrition plan for some of them, and now some of them, most of them, want to add weight. I mean, that's the key. I mean, you want to add weight to a ton of them, but he's one that you want to cut some weight, and he's far, and he knows that's what he's got to do to be a really good player.
All right, let's look at a few more clips. We were talking about Trey Kuziaski. I think there's about 8 minutes left in the ball game or so. The Center Point was trying to make it a 1 point or 1 possession ball game. Had it deep in our own territory, and Kuz just makes a fantastic play right here.
Oh yeah, he can run in the field and he just breaks on the ball, bats it away instead of sitting back and letting him catch it, then tackle. I mean, the kid he's a smart kid, a high character kid, good student, everything. And that he just makes the big time play right there. This time, in a few weeks, once he plays the position more, he would be able to pick six that. He'll undercut it and drive on it. And as defensive coaches say all the time, you'll hear him say, drive on the ball, drive on the ball. And I think once he learns to do that, he'll be able to get his hands on it and go the other way with it.
All right, a couple more clips.
Big heavies right there leaning on a little bit, and it's really good for them. As you can tell up front, got some good movement right there. I mean, not great, but they maintained blocks on that time, and that that puts it away really for that. I mean, it doesn't put it completely away because it's an 8-point game. Now they got to score and go for 2 to tie it to put it in overtime. So we still had to come back and play, but that was a big run and a great job with the O-line.
One more, we talked about Caleb Gross, number 4, and we've got one. I think this is early in the ball game. Just the athleticism at receiver, and he keeping the toes in bounds up here top.
Oh, it's a great throw and it's a great catch. It's just a back shoulder. It ain't back shoulder. It's really what we call a comeback off Y cross. And he stretched out and kept his feet in, and as you can tell right here, I think he got them both in. Only got to have one in. But he drives the DB, turns back. That's been a signature route in our offense, my offense, for 23 years. That's probably, if you go back and you look at, all right, what's Rush Probst's bread and butter? That would be one of them, is the curl comeback at 17 back to 15. And I don't care if you do know what's coming, it's hard to stop because we'll throw enough go balls on you that you got to play the go ball. You got to play the post ball. Then you got to play what we call the comeback ball. And if you can perfect those 3 things, that you can throw the deep go ball, the deep post ball, then the shutdown comeback ball like that. I mean, you're asking a DB, he better be really good to defend all that. And Caleb starting to perfect all 3 of them.
And then final clip we'll look at. I love this clip right here. Into the ball game, and you've got the student section and the players, the Panther Pit. You see them there, and just having a good time. Been a long time since we've seen that on the field at Pete Ridge Stadium.
Man, that's what it's all about, man. I love our students. They come up to me today in the lunchroom, and Mr. Fields' kid, I love him. He was painted up good, and got a kick out of that. But they're figuring ways to get to you falling. But that's what it's all about. When kids can have fun and experience that feeling, that's going to get catchy, and they're going to like it more, and they're going to get, and then all of a sudden you start feeling good about yourself. Then the next thing is playoffs, and you get in the playoffs, you feel good, and when you get in the playoffs, you start advancing deeper, and you start playing on Thanksgiving, you start playing, listening to Christmas music as you're getting ready to play football. I mean, those things are. I've been to places and I've heard Mama say, "Coach, what am I going to do with Thanksgiving? We've always had Thanksgiving dinner." I said, "Well, you know what? Your son is probably a college player, and you know what he's going to do for Thanksgiving the next 4 years? He's going to be practicing football. And they may get him some turkey and dressing on Thanksgiving, but he's not going to be with you. He's going to be with his team because, the rivalry weekend, is there. It's Alabama-Auburn week. Georgia Tech, Florida State, big games, but it's also in high school football. It's usually the quarterfinal round. It has been the second round in Georgia some, when I was over there, because we played much deeper over there in December. But in Alabama, this year is the quarterfinal round, and we got a December 1st semifinal and a December 8th championship round. And, I like it. I wish it was another week. I mean, I'm an advocate of having 2 open dates. So really this year I wish our championship date was on the 15th or 16th on that Saturday of December. To me, that's a lot better, I mean, I just wish we could get the second open date, and I think it'd be safer for kids and staff and just a lot more healthier. I got used to the 2 open dates in Georgia, and I think the way they do things scheduling wise is probably more conducive than what we do here in Alabama. And so hopefully there can be some change coming towards that in the future to be able to do that. So.
Hey, Tiffany, can you roll that clip with the Panther Pit and the players? Watch number 90. Watch Elston right at the right in the fence line. Hold on, he's coming here somewhere. Hey, here he comes. Watch him. Watch this move. Oh, that's sweet right there. Look at him going.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that until we played it last time.
He's athletic.
Yeah.
Jay Nelson is an athletic kid now, and he's happy. Very likable young man and very popular student, and he's got a good future ahead of him. We hope, and just got to get him in the best position to be the best football player he can be.
All right, let's take a timeout. When we come back, we will talk about the big game coming up this Friday. Long trip, 6-hour round trip, not including the football game and everything. So it's going to be a haul for Panther fans and the Panther team, and we'll talk to Coach about where they're going to stay and meals and all that good stuff on this long road trip that's coming up, taking on Eufaula this Friday. Stick around. The Rush Probe Show continues here on 94.1 FM The River and the River Sports Network.
Since 1903, the name Union State has represented a commitment to reliable service for generations of valued customers. And with over 150 years of combined experience, our staff at Union State Insurance looks forward to serving you and your family for generations to come with superior value and friendly service. Call me, Drew Alexander, at Union State Insurance, 205-884-1670, or on Facebook, Union State Insurance.
Looking for a little more comfort in your life? Don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. And at Allen Service Company, they'll show you the full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems. Turn to the experts at Allen Service Company, where financing is available, subject to credit approval. Call 205-338-2311, 205-338-2311, or visit online at allenservicecompany.com.
Let Heritage South Credit Union tackle your financial needs. Heritage South Credit Union offers the lowest rates on auto loan purchases and refinancing. Our Premium Rewards checking account offers a higher interest rate for balances up to $15,000 with no minimum balance and no monthly maintenance fees. All you have to do is use your account. Join today at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union, equal opportunity lender.
Great food and great variety. It's City Market Grill and Buffet in Pell City. A great selection of meats, fish, vegetables, desserts, and the largest salad bar in the county. And of course, it's all you can eat. The City Market Grill and Buffet in the Walmart Shopping Center in Pell City. Check out their Facebook page for times and prices. City Market Grill and Buffet.
Kilgrove Funeral Home, since 1908, providing families with exceptional, compassionate care, where they believe that funerals and memorial services should be as unique as the individuals they honor. From traditional services to the celebration of life, pre-planning services, add a very personal touch with the life story, and so much more. See Mitch Barty and the staff at Kilgrove Funeral Home or call 205-338-3341.
Hey Panther Nation, it's April at Merle Norman Cosmetics, and I'm excited to introduce you to our new venture, Blush Boutique. You already know about the amazing skincare and color cosmetics that we offer, but what you may not know is that we also have clothing, handbags, jewelry, and Panther Game Day t-shirts. Shop local and come visit the new Blush Boutique at Merle Norman. We are located at 1915 Cogswell Avenue in historic downtown Pell City.
Looking to break free with internet that will not hold you back? Only Hargray offers the fastest internet in town with unlimited data as well as local service and tech support. Try Hargray stress-free with no contracts and a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you want speed, reliability, and great value, call 205-350-9885. Go to hargray.com for more and switch to Hargray today. Welcome back to the Rush Probe Show here on 94.1 FM The River and the River Sports Network as we've got Rush Probst and the Pell City Panthers taking the road to Eufaula. And, Coach, man, we couldn't get a game in Mobile or somewhere further. How did – I don't know, and I had it asked to me several times this week, was this a Coach Lee, a Coach Mask scheduling? I mean, you came in too late, obviously. Where did this come in, this game?
Coach Mask.
All right, Coach. I'm guessing his ties down in South Alabama.
No, I just don't think he could find anybody. I think that I think he looked, but couldn't. A lot of times Game 5s are non-region games in Alabama, which I don't understand that either. Didn't like it when I was here before. Don't like it now. You don't know how to play it. I mean, no, they count. They count as designated counter games, and in Alabama. So your game 1, 2, 5, 10 count as tiebreakers, in a region that could end up in a 3-way tie or 4-way tie, whatever. That what decides it. So, I mean, obviously head-to-head's first, but in a 3-way tie, these games do matter. But I think the only rationale to me about it is it allows you to have some matchups, like Thursday night you got Clay and Thompson playing. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a heck of a football game. And, Clay Chalkville and I think it's the elite 6A program in this state if Saraland is one or the other. And then we know Thompson's the elite team, so they'll square off. And really, Clay had them beat last year, should have beat them. Mm-hmm. And then got Mountain Brook and Vestavia. So I would imagine Steve looked for someone of a rivalry, and you think about it around here, who would that have been for Pell City that's not in your region? So, I mean, y'all name somebody. I don't know who else is a rivalry. I mean, you could say Welborn in the day, but they're a 3A school now. And so, I mean, who else would it be? So I think you ran into that.
Yeah, already got them. Got Leeds, got Moody, got Springville, all those on the schedule already.
I mean, you want one marquee matchup. Eventually, here we'll get to some out-of-state games, big time games, and ESPN involved and stuff like that for our games and stuff. But we got to do a lot to our stadium and get our facilities right before we can do that. But with Eufaula, it's a unique deal. I coached there from 93, 94, 95, 96, left there in 97, early 97, or really late 97 to be honest with you. Courtney Upshaw going back home. So I'll run into people there Friday night that I hadn't seen in 25 years, and I think some of them reached out already. So that's going to be interesting. And, Jernigan, their head coach, brother, played for me. I remember when Coach Jernigan was a great player at Troy, went on to the NFL, just coaching them. So there is some ties there. The facility there I helped design was part of the master plan for the stadium, and because the stadium used to be in town. So that we flew around all over looking at facilities to get that built, and then, of course, I left, and then they started building it, 3 or 4 years after that. But to me, it's not a long trip. I mean, I know it is because y'all are used to a different deal. Coming from Georgia, I mean, if you wasn't traveling 4 or 5 hours, that was the trips now because, to go from Moultrie, Georgia to northeast Gwinnett County on a Friday night, man, you're talking 4.5, 4:45 to 5-hour trips. So it's less than that. So, I think we can be there in roughly 3 hours, 2 hours and 50 minutes. So we'll leave on Thursday and go down. And we'll get to the hotel. We're leaving at 1:30, and we'll get to the hotel at 3:30. We'll check in. Kids will have an hour to just go to the room and relax, and then we'll get them on a bus and bus back to the Auburn's football facility, and we will be able to watch Auburn practice a little bit. I don't think Hugh's going to let us watch the whole thing, but he'll let us get a taste of it, and then we'll practice right after they're done, and then from there we'll do a walkthrough of the facility, like a tour, to see everything that they have there at Auburn, which is really, really nice. I mean, the architects there and the things they built at Auburn are just really unbelievable, to be honest with you. And I think that our kids will see that, and gives kids, it opens their eyes to, man, this is unreal. They really have this kind of stuff. The floating beds, the cryotherapies, the car wash. What is a car wash? So kids at Auburn, when the players walk off the field, they walk under, they take their pads off, and they walk through a car wash type thing, and it rinses and sanitizes them, and it cools their body down and gets all the grass and the sweat and, all that stuff, just walking through this spray mist. And then the stuff's laying there, and, and then, of course, they got managers and all that to pick that up. Then when they walk out of that, they're clean. So then they walk down into a pool that's from here to back wall, and it's like 35 degrees, like ice baths. So every day, that thing is regulated to a temperature, so they walk into it up to above their chest, right around their sternum or higher, and they walk through it. They can stay in it 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. Most of them stay anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes. Brings their body temperature down. Because when your body, after practice, believe it or not, your legs are bleeding. They're bleeding. The small little capillaries in your body, the things that build lactic acid, is still expanding because of the stress you put on your body. Well, what ice bath does is it freezes that. And it freezes the blood and sends it to the center part of your body, and then it flushes back out, and that sort of keeps the lactic acid from building up. And it refreshes your body. So it's really neat. Then they get out of that. They come out of that. Then they walk into a normal shower that's unbelievable, anything you've ever seen. I don't think you got to do anything. It washes for you. And they get that done, and then, man, they walk out and into their locker room that's like walking into something you'd see from science fiction. I mean, it's Star Wars type things inside the locker room, and they're clean, they're dressed in Auburn gear, and they can sit and recline in their locker and take a nap, or their phones being charged. They've got their LED lights, they've got everything you need in that locker is sitting right there. They can push a button and practice video comes up that was just on the field.
Wow.
So they can sit there and get an early look. Well, I want to see what I did during the inside period. So you scroll down, hit inside period, or the receivers hit one-on-ones, and they're sitting there watching it. This guy may be watching inside. This guy may be watching 7-on-7. The quarterback may be going through his reads. And so the kids are sitting there watching all that stuff before they even go eat. Then they go eat. And then, obviously, after that, they go into film study and all that kind of stuff. So it's a neat deal. I want our players to experience it and see it, and have the desire that Auburn's not the only people that have that. And so it'll be a good trip. And then we'll get back to the hotel and eat around 8 o'clock and put them to bed and get them up Friday and go through our normal day deal. And I think being on the road, not being in school, we'll have 2 separate walkthroughs. We'll have several meetings, video, plenty of rest. We'll eat breakfast at 9. We'll eat lunch at 12:15, and we'll eat pregame at 3:15. And then we'll get on our charter bus at 3:35 and head to Eufaula. It's about an hour drive down, and we'll get there about 4:35, 4:40, and then get ready to play.
Coach, you've always got Johnny know-betters. When you were talking about the situation with why would a player need to come off a field and have a pre-wash, I immediately thought about the problems that college locker rooms and NFL locker rooms have with staff, and how a staff infection can break out and infect players. But talking about your trip down, you're also coming on the heels of your first win. Then you've got the bye, where your team's going through that dynamic, and then you also have a lengthy road game against a non-region opponent. So you got several factors going on there that kind of, I want to know what your take is in terms of making sure your guys are ready and haven't let any of those other things be a negative as opposed to a positive.
Well, the thing about it is, I told our players this on Sunday when they came in, and I told them this 2 weeks ago. I put up, after we lost to Clay on Sunday, I put up 27 days. And I said, these 27 days will transform our season. If you buy into what we're doing, these 27 days, you'll come out on the back end of that winning some games and being a lot better football team. So the first thing I asked him, I said, 27 days from now, y'all play Oxford High School. And this was on September 10th. So September 10th, I said, who you'd rather beat than anybody? Well, they all raised their hand, Oxford. I said, okay. So you want to beat Oxford, all right. Well, you can't beat Oxford unless you beat Center Point. And you can't beat Oxford if you don't beat Eufaula. So I've made this Eufaula trip more of a do-or-die win situation for us, because I don't think all of a sudden the week you play Oxford, you just wave a magic wand and say, hey, man, I'm ready to play Oxford now, when you hadn't prepared to beat Oxford. Now we're probably behind the 8 ball a little bit still with them. I mean, they've got an established program, and I don't know last time that Pell City beat Oxford, but we have to focus on beating Eufaula, and that'll show me something. And I'm not saying we're going to beat Eufaula. I'm not predicting that. All I'm saying is I don't think you can go win at Oxford if you can't go win at Eufaula. And so that's the kind of pressure I put on our players to tell them, man, don't buy in that this is a non-region game. Don't buy in that this doesn't count. It does count. It counts in the fact it gives us momentum for several weeks. You feel good about yourself, and now you're going to go play your biggest rival on the road. So, we've been on the road with Moody and played and should have won the game. And now we have our chance to go on the road and play at Eufaula. I'm anxious to watch us play. And then if we can go down there and get that win, then we'll see what happens the following week. But it does turn. And then when you get through with October 6th and you come back in on October the 8th on that Sunday, I really believe then you'll have a better idea of where this season is going to lay out for the next 4 games, regular season, and then obviously the playoffs after that. But so anyway, I think there's a lot left in this season, and we got to continue to dig and keep pushing and pushing and pushing to be a better team, and hopefully we can give something special back to these seniors that have been through so much in their career. Hopefully we can push them across the finish line and them leave some type of legacy here.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate it. The Rush Probe Show, always doing it live on Tuesdays. We start about 7 o'clock or so, and then we build it into the pregame show that starts at 5:30 on Friday nights. I know a lot of folks are probably going to be watching this Friday for the long trip, and as always, we appreciate everybody watching on Facebook and on YouTube on Friday nights. Coach, anything you want to say before we wrap up tonight?
Just come on. Hey, look, if you like to fish, just bring your boat and come down there and fish. It's a great fishing lake, I know that, but we'd love for our fans to come. I think that shows your players, that they care and that they want this as bad as they do. And I think it buys in. I've been to places to where the fan bases have been really good. They didn't start that way in some places, but it got to where people traveled, didn't matter where it was. And I think we'll get that here. I mean, obviously we saw it in Moody, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had more people than they did, I thought. And so I would love for people to come and watch us play and show the support that we need. And I know like a lot of the students are talking about going, so they're releasing school at 11 o'clock. I appreciate Dr. Martin for doing that. That shows commitment. And so teachers can go, and other students, our student body can go, our band's going, our cheerleaders are going. So we're taking it like a playoff trip. We really are. I mean, we may have to go to a Muscle Shoals or a Hartselle November 10th. So there's about the same distance to go there as it is going to Eufaula. So we've already done it one time, so that we'll be a little bit used to it. So
all right.
Looking forward to it. Just hope everybody can come out and enjoy it.
Yeah, hopefully we've got a lot of fannies over there on the visitor side there at Eufaula. Again, thanks to Coach Rush Probst, thanks to Tiffany Studdard and Lance Bowman and everybody who came out to City Market Grill and Buffet. Join us next Tuesday when hopefully we're talking about win number 2 under the Rush Probst era with the Eufaula game coming up. Thanks so much for checking out the Rush Probst Show here on 94.1 FM The River and the River Sports Network.